Hi everyone, this is Jason Martin. I'm the Executive Director of Elementary Education for Gilbert Schools, and I am so excited to read a couple of stories with you this week during Read Across America Week, a little different this year virtually. One of the books that I absolutely love is called Big Moon Tortilla. I know a lot of you being here in Arizona probably use tortillas for tacos and burritos, but this is a great story, so I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. The author is Joy Cowley, and it's illustrated, which is the person who draws these beautiful pictures and colors them, is Diane Strongbow. By the time Marta Enos had finished her homework, the sky was orange with sunset and a fussing wind was blowing across the desert. Marta Enos opened her window and looked outside. In the cookhouse, her grandmother was making tortillas for the church supper. She slapped them into large circles and tossed them onto the iron plate over the mesquite fire. Grandmother's Big Moon tortillas were the best in the world. How many of you have something that your grandma or your mom or dad or your grandfather or somebody makes, something that's extra special? Think about that. The head of Marta Enos was filled with the knowing of fresh tortillas. Oh, that sweet, crisp, little burnt smell. It went to Marta's stomach, which rumbled and growled, and then on down to her feet, making her toes twitch toward the cookhouse. The legs of Marta Enos would not wait another minute. They were in such a hurry that they knocked over Marta's table, and that is when a disaster happened. Uh-oh. The homework papers with their neat writing and beautiful drawings went out the window and onto the breath of the fussing wind. The wind huffed the papers high into the air. Then, with a little cough, it spread them all over the village. The legs of Marta Enos were sorry for their mistake, and they ran out to chase the homework papers, which slipped and slid like kites without string. But the dogs, too, were chasing, leaping into the air. They barked to each other, "A game, a game!" In no time at all, the beautiful homework papers were torn and chewed into trash. I guess she legitimately can say that the dog ate her homework, right? The second disaster happened when Marta tried to pull a page away from a puppy. Her glasses fell off and she stepped on them. One arm of her glasses broke in half. She did not smell tortillas anymore. Instead, her head was filled up to her eyes with grief and tears as hot as chili peppers. Ruined homework, broken glasses. Marta Enos ran to her grandmother. She's not having a good day. Grandmother left her tortillas and sat down as big as a bed and warm from the cooking. As she smoothed Marta's hair with her floured hand, she said, "Hush, hush. If you cry so much, you'll put out the fire. The dogs ate my homework and I can't see anything to do anymore," Marta sobbed. Grandmother rocked her. "Little problem," she said, "too small for a big rainstorm. We'll repair your eyeglasses." But the tears of Marta Enos still ran through her eyes and nose and made hiccups in her throat. So grandmother sang to her an old healing song, and with the healing song there was a story. When we have a problem, we must choose what we will be. Sometimes it is good to be a tree, to stand up tall in the desert, and look all ways at once. Sometimes it is best to be a rock, to sit very still, seeing nothing and saying nothing. Sometimes when you have a problem, you have to be a strong mountain lion, fierce and ready to fight for what is right. Sometimes the wisest thing is to be an eagle and fly. When the eagle is high up, it sees how small the earth is. It sees how small the problem really is and laughs and laughs. Grandmother wound some tape around the arm of the glasses. She put the glasses back on the nose and ears of Marta Enos. That should be okay until we can get them fixed, she said. Now, one tortilla before supper. And look at the moon coming up. What does the moon look like? Grandmother pinched a ball of dough and slapped it between her hands. Flip, flap, flip, flap, flip, flap. When it was as big and pale as a rising full moon, she dropped it into the iron plate above the red-hot coals of the fire. Aha! There you see the moon in the distance and Grandma making the tortilla. The smell of the tortilla bubbled and browned. I have decided, said Marta Enos, her legs doing a tortilla dance. I am going to be the eagle. Grandmother nodded. That is very wise, she said, turning the tortilla over. Fly high and laugh. Then come back and do your homework. And that, my friends, is the end of the story. A little bit about the author's note, though, is it says, I shall never forget the time the author spent on a Tohono O'odham Papago reservation in southern Arizona near the Mexican border. This story is set in one of the small villages there. Grandmother's words of advice come from an old Native American saying, which varies slightly among the different tribes of the southern states. Like Marta Enos, perhaps you will remember grandmother's advice the next time you have a problem. And speaking of grandmother's advice, think about, is there advice that you get from your teacher or mom or dad or a brother or sister or from your grandparents that, like Marta, that you can live with, and words that help you get through your day? Think about that. And I want to thank you guys for being a great audience. A little different this time doing it virtually, but I wish you a great Read Across America week, and thank you for letting me come into your classroom.